Do I believe in conspiracy theories? Or do I believe everything the mainstream media tells me? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. Last week I did a video discussing the January 6th hearings. In fact, I covered a couple of days of the January 6th hearings. And during one of the days, I was basically providing a message to supporters of Trump and to people who believe that the election was stolen from Trump. And one individual who was in the chat, who's actually a content creator, Papa Hotep, he disagreed with me and he mentioned 2,000 Mules and some other things, including a Time magazine article that he feels shows, or that he believes show that the election was stolen from Trump. And I wanted to address the video because he actually, in the chat, he, said some things, nothing great, nothing crazy. He just disagreed with me. And I, responded verbally because it was a live. And I told him no, I think one of the things he said that really got to me was that we don't have a dog in the, we don't have a horse in the fight or a dog in the fight anymore. That got to me, not because he offended me, but because I think that's something critical for us, that we lose sight of the bigger picture if we think that. And so, and I want to state that because he mentioned, I got indignant. I wasn't getting indignant at you. I wasn't getting indignant at him. I was like, it's just something that I believe that's if we believe that, oh, okay, well, this person is gone or this person is gone, that, the fight is over, that we're missing the bigger picture. And I want to establish, whether or not I've said it before, there's no beef here. And that's why I appreciate the ability to talk to content creators, other content creators, other individuals who don't agree with me, because we can have discussions, we can make videos about topics that are showing different aspects and different sides of various issues. So it's an opportunity I appreciate being able to have. One of the things he talked about was that it seems like I'm, straight-laced and somebody who doesn't believe in conspiracy theories, and almost as if I may be trusting in, if the media says something, I believe it. Absolutely not. However, here's where I fall on conspiracy theories. Even if I suspect that something may be amiss, that something's doesn't seem right, something's not fitting, I want to see some evidence to support it before I, okay, yeah, this seems like a likely scenario or even a probable scenario, a possible scenario. But there's some things I will just say, this doesn't seem at all likely. If the media says that something happens, that does not necessarily mean it happened. I am not that dude. I am not the dude that watches MSNBC and listens to what they say and says, yeah, okay, yeah, that's what the deal is. Like you mentioned gun control. 10 Black people were brutally murdered in Buffalo. New York State passed the slate of 10 gun control laws. One of those laws was that New York State citizens cannot own body armor. Do you hear? I'm saying this. 10 Black people got murdered, and the government passed a law saying we can't buy and wear body armor to protect ourselves. I know this has nothing to do with protecting us. I know this has nothing to do with safety. I know what this does is it makes us more vulnerable. I know that. I see that from a mile away. I definitely know that conspiracies exist. I see conspiracy that is somewhat deeper than I believe the one that you're looking at. A lot of people that will believe that Donald Trump was, like you said, Black people who say, oh, he's racist, he's Hitler, because that's what the media said. They've played stuff that Donald Trump said about Black people years ago, decades ago, and stuff he's done, with the not renting to Black people and stuff he said about, Black people and Jewish lawyers. And I think it was in the same statement, he said some stuff. His whole take on the Central Park 5, the exonerated 5. I look at Donald Trump as a piece of garbage, but here's what you'll say, but I'm buying into their narrative. Here's why I disagree that I'm not buying into their narrative. Because I look at these things, I look at him as being a piece of garbage, but I also look at the fact that they supported that piece of garbage. So the very same people that are now telling me Donald Trump is a racist had no problem with, because they'll bring back his greatest hits. I'm like, wait, but y'all had no problem with that racist piece of garbage up until he ran against Hillary Clinton. Before then, he was all good in your eyes. So what that tells me is that not only is Donald Trump a piece of shit, they're pieces of shit. All of the same people, the Hillary Clintons, the Andrew Cuomo's, all of the MSNBCs, the CBS, all of these people, and NBC, because NBC gave him a TV show. They built up this image and this myth about him because the dude is not a shrewd businessman. The dude is a clown. The dude is a con man who capitalizes off of an image to enrich himself at the expense of others. That's what he's done in New York for decades. That's why he's got multiple failed businesses, multiple shady operations. Just the dude's just no good. But there were so many people that had no problem cozying up to him, being friendly with him. Hillary Clinton, Hillary, Bill, Donald, and Melania at his wedding together. If we believe that Hillary and Bill are just absolute scumbags, because we've known they're scumbags. We've seen how much dirt they've done going back to past the 90s. We've seen this. It's well-known knowledge. But there they are when he's getting married to Melania, cozying up all four of them as two couples, and they're all friendly then. They're all good. There's times where he's talking about how great Hillary is, donated money to her campaigns, donated money to Andrew Cuomo, Chuck Schumer, Terry McAuliffe, whole bunch of Democrats, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker. All of these scumbags, all these people that he's saying, oh, they're evil, they're crooked, they're the deep state, they're the machine, the elite. He's the elite. He always has been. I see the hypocrisy. I see the lies. I see the deception on both sides. I see how Hillary will now say, oh, he's a racist. But wait, why were you at that racist's wedding? Why were you taking this racist piece of garbage's money? Why? And on his side, he said, Hillary, crooked Hillary. Okay, well, why were you donating money to crooked Hillary? You helped put her, you helped amp her up into the Senate. You donated to a presidential campaign against Barack Obama. Like, what the hell? Andrew Cuomo, you donated tens of thousands of dollars to Andrew Cuomo. He donated over $100,000 to the Clinton Foundation. Donald Trump is not, nor has he ever been, the good guy. Donald Trump is not, nor has he ever been, for the people. Donald Trump is and always has been for Donald Trump. I hate Donald Trump because he's a scumbag. Not because they told me to, but because I know they're scumbags and they had no problem with the scumbag. They was all cozy together. Donald Trump and the mainstream media and the fake news. He loved fake news when they were faking stuff on his behalf. That's why he knows they're fake news. He knows they're fake news because they would lie for him. When they started lying on him, then it became a problem. He doesn't mind if they lie for him. He doesn't mind if they lie to help him to bolster his image. He just minds if they lie to hurt his image. That's all that's what pisses him off. But he has no problem with the lies. He just wants to make sure he's benefiting from their lies. But he knows they're fake news because, hey, he was right there. They were fake news on his behalf, going back to the 80s, being before that. I know I've watched it since the 80s because here I am in New York. I've seen the fake news they've put out about him since the 80s. I've watched this scumbag that he is. Epstein. Him and Epstein, peas in the pot, and they did not fall out over Epstein's behavior. They fell out over some competition for some business. Because remember, there's an old interview with Donald Trump talking about Epstein and talking about, hey, yeah, he likes them young. Oh, so you know what he was about. And you had absolutely no problem with it. None whatsoever. That's Donald Trump. So why was Donald Trump hated? Let me tell you why Donald Trump was hated. Donald Trump wasn't hated because he was an enemy of the deep state. Donald Trump wasn't hated because he was going against the elite's agenda. Donald Trump was hated because he played out of his position. You see, the elite, they have a system in place. They've got the political side. They've got the rich elite side. Donald Trump is supposed to be on the rich elite side. That's where he's supposed to stay. So what the rich elites do, they want the government to do stuff for them. They want the government to work in their interests. So their job is to take their riches and grease the palms of the political class so that the political class can then work on their behalf. It's a symbiotic relationship. That's what it is. It's a team sport. Donald Trump said, wait a minute. Why do I have to give them the money so that they can make the government do what I want? if I can cut them out and cut out the middleman? What if I run for office? Because I'm well known enough. My name is out there enough. That's what my brand is. That's what my business is. My business is this fake image of me being a great businessman. That's put my name out there so that I can capitalize that, not just to make money, I can capitalize that on to get power. And so he said, okay, I'm cutting out the middleman. I'm not going to just keep greasing the palms of the political class like I've been doing for decades. He's been doing it for decades. Millions of dollars to the political class so that they work on his behalf. He said, I'm not doing that. I'm going to run. And they said, whoa. That's not how this goes. You're the money class. We're the political class. We're supposed to be working together. But once he cut them out and started doing it himself, they're like, we can't let that become the norm. The political class doesn't want to become obsolete because if they think about it, what if rich people all over, what if Elon Musk says, instead of donating money to these politicians, I'm just going to run myself. I'm well known enough. Because we're in the age of the well-known the barons, so they can actually just say, hey, I can do it myself. And then what happens to the political class? They become obsolete. They're out the way. So they said, no, we got to fight back. We got to fight back because we can't let him make us obsolete. They didn't have a problem with his policies because if you take a look at his policies, look at how similar what Biden is doing to what in fact, I really think he lifted his entire political persona from Biden. There's so many similarities, even talking points that are just alike between the two. It's insane. They wanted him gone because one, he was threatening the dynamic. He was threatening the existence of the political class. They couldn't let him make them irrelevant. But on the Democratic side, there was a problem. He stopped pulling punches. So there's certain stuff that you're not supposed to say. There's certain stuff that they agree amongst each other not to do. Like they have, because it's a play. The Democrats versus Republicans, it's a game. It's a play. It's WWE. I know this. I know the Democrats versus Republicans is WWE. It's not real. They're in on it together. It's like SmackDown versus Raw. And Vince runs it all. Well, not anymore. But you know what I mean? SmackDown, Raw, and they make it look like these are two different companies, but Vince McMahon is was the CEO over all of it, just pulling the strings. Okay, boom, boom, boom. It's all scripted, just performance. That's what the Democrats and Republicans were. But Trump stopped pulling punches. And so they said, we got to get rid of him. We got to get rid of him. He's not pulling punches and he wants too much power. He wanted too much power for himself. And he still does, because he's not even demanding loyalty to the party. He's not saying, oh, you got to be loyal to the Republican Party. He's saying you got to be loyal to me specifically. In addition to Trump demonstrating that he is part of the establishment, he's part of the elite, he's part of the bad guy. One key point, we look at the economy right now. The economy's in shambles, right? And people point to stupid stuff that Biden has done. Yes, Biden has done stupid stuff. But I've known this was coming since 2020. During 2020, the moves that the government made, and that includes under Trump, facilitated what we're now seeing. So the Federal Reserve doing all of the nonsense it did, from the quantitative easing, just printing out money, to underwriting money for investments for the rich, to the one of the greatest thefts we've ever seen with that first stimulus, COVID stimulus package. It was a huge package and only a fraction went to the people. Like only a fraction, small fraction of that went to checks to the people. The rest of it went to cronies, friends. And that's why, if you remember with that first stimulus package, they wanted to do a vote without everybody even showing up for the vote. Just people saying, hey, proxy, okay, we're with it. Go ahead and do it. There was one congressman who said, no. Not only are we not going to do this just by that, I want us to do this vote on the record. I want everybody to have to show up, show their face, and go on the record what their vote is in regards to this bill, the first stimulus package. That congressman was Thomas Massie. He's a Republican. Both sides of the political spectrum, Republicans and Democrats, attacked him. Do you know who the two of the most prominent Republicans and Democrats to attack him? John Kerry, former Democratic presidential candidate, was one of the most prominent Democrats to attack him. You know who the most prominent Republican was to attack him? Donald Trump. Donald Trump, in fact, there's a Twitter thread. Donald Trump and John Kerry teamed up to malign and verbally attack Thomas Massie because he demanded on the record votes for the first stimulus package, which is part of why we're at where we're at with the economy in shambles. Donald Trump is not now, nor has he ever been, the good guy. Donald Trump is not now, nor has he ever been, for the people. Donald Trump did to white America, middle white America, what Democrats do to black people every election. And you know how Donald Trump knew to do that? Because he's a Democrat. He's been a Democrat for years. Been in New York, been a Democrat, which is why he was cozy with Hillary, cozy with Andrew Cuomo, donating to Kamala, Cory Booker, Terry McAuliffe, all Democrats. Chuck Schumer. These are all people he's donated to, all cozy with them. But he saw their playbook. He saw the playbook they used in manipulating and exploiting the black community. And he used that playbook on white America. He told them what they wanted to hear. He told them, oh, you're great, you're awesome. You need somebody to fight for you. And then he fought to fill his pockets. That's what he did. He fought to line his pockets. Dave Chappelle told us. Dave Chappelle told them, basically. Dave Chappelle says, Donald Trump isn't fighting for you. He's fighting for me. He's like, he was like in, I think, Cleveland? Wherever he was. Bunch of poor white people. He's like, yeah, Donald Trump ain't fighting for y'all. I'm rich. Donald Trump is fighting for me. Because that's who Donald Trump was fighting, to fill the pockets of himself and his cronies, his buddies. That's why he literally was putting people in the cabinet who donated money to him. They basically were buying cabinet positions. His administration was filled by people who had donated money. Oh, you want a cabinet position? How much you donated? Okay, you get a cabinet position. You get a cabinet position. You get a cabinet position. Donald Trump never gave a damn about the people. And so let's fast forward to the election. Let's fast forward to the election happens. And if you believe that the election was correction, there are some people that believe that the election was stolen. Cool. So let's say they believe that. Let's pretend, and I'm not, just for the sake of, YouTube community guidelines, I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying if it was, if the election was rigged, if it was stolen. Let's move forward to January 6th. And what does Trump do? Trump wants Pence to do something. Trump wants all of these people that are going to the Capitol to do something. What does Trump do? If Trump believes the election was stolen, Trump wants Pence to put his neck on the line to do something about it, to protect his election. Donald Trump wants all of these people, regular people, plumbers from Brooklyn, real estate agents from Texas, a small business owner from Cali. He wants them to put their necks on the line, their freedom on the line for his interest. What does he put on the line? Not a goddamn thing. Not a goddamn thing. Because that small business owner from California, Ashley Babbitt, she doesn't just put her freedom on the line. She puts her life on the line. She's dead. And by the way, her family, if I was her family and he came up trying to, I would have spit in his face. I would have spit in his face because he got her killed. That piece of shit got Ashley Babbitt killed. And then what did he do on January 7th? Oh, why did y'all do that? Y'all shouldn't have done that.
The heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. We have just been through an intense election and emotions are high, but now tempers must be cooled and calm restored. We must get on with the business of America. My campaign vigorously pursued every legal avenue to contest the election results. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. In so doing, I was fighting to defend American democracy. I continue to strongly believe that we must reform our election laws to verify the identity and eligibility of all voters and to ensure faith and confidence in all future elections. Now Congress has certified the results. A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation. 2020 has been a challenging time for our people. A menacing pandemic has upended the lives of our citizens, isolated millions in their homes, damaged our economy, and claimed countless lives. Defeating this pandemic and rebuilding the greatest economy on earth will require all of us working together. It will require a renewed emphasis on the civic values of patriotism, faith, charity, community, and family. We must revitalize the sacred bonds of love and loyalty that bind us together as one national family. To the citizens of our country, serving as your president has been the honor of my lifetime. And to all of my wonderful supporters, I know you are disappointed, but I also want you to know that our incredible journey is only just beginning. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
The fucking coward. The absolute fucking coward that he is. Oh, y'all shouldn't have done that. He sent them to do it. Got a woman killed. Got several people killed. And then, oh, how did this happen? Because that's what Donald Trump is and always has been. A self-interested, self-absorbed con man and coward. That's why I don't like Donald Trump. And I've seen him be all too willing to play ball with the deep state. So there was like the deep state, like, even if you believe that there was any shenanigans, if there wasn't, it's not like he was going to do anything. What was he going to do different? Because all of these people that he'll claim a deep state, and he kept putting deep state people in his cabinet, into his inner circle. That was the first clue. Because there's plenty of people that he will get out there and say, oh, they're deep state. Oh, they're part of the establishment. Then why did you put them in your cabinet? Why did you surround yourself with these people? You know why? Because he didn't care. Only thing he cared about was lining his pockets. That was his only agenda. It wasn't an America First agenda. It was a Donald Trump First agenda. That's his agenda. Donald Trump's agenda was not an America First agenda. It was a Donald Trump First agenda. That's what it is and always has been. Donald Trump first. That's his agenda. That's why the operative thing you must do to gain his favor is pledge loyalty to him. Not to America, not to the Constitution. He hasn't even read the Constitution. He hasn't even read it. Routinely saying stupid stuff that is completely violative of the Constitution. Routinely. But you have to pledge allegiance to him in order to gain his favor. So yeah, you look at the Time magazine article and it basically lays out how they're trying to gain control of the narrative. What they're letting us know is, yes, that's true. That's what they want to do. They want to control everything we see and hear. But they didn't just start that in 2020. They've been doing it for years. The problem was, in 2016, it got outside of their control. You know why it got outside of their control? Here's why it got outside of their control. Because they have spent so many decades dumbing the public down. Just like you said, that NPCs. There's a bunch of NPCs out there. But they've spent so long dumbing the public down that they left the public vulnerable to anybody that has sufficient manipulative skills. So they assumed that after dumbing the public down, they were the only ones, the mainstream media were the only ones that could successfully manipulate people. So cozy with them over the years, picked up the tricks, and now he used those same tricks for his benefit. So he convinced all of these poor white people in middle America, poor middle class white people, that he was actually fighting for them. He convinced them because he knew the tricks. He knew exactly how to manipulate them and control them. And he knew how to use the media's spin against them. He knew exactly how to do it. Now, he knew that was going to get him sufficient attention, sufficient money. He didn't actually think that was going to get him into the White House. You know what actually got him in the White House? What finished the deal? Kellyanne Conway. That woman is a mastermind. That woman is somebody who knows how to wow. You want to talk about Jedi mind tricks or Sith mind tricks or whatever. Like, that woman is a mastermind. She's the one that brought it all home. But I want to point out that the media has been doing this since before I was alive. I know the media has been doing this since before I was alive. So yeah, that Time Magazine article is not news to me. That is their standard operating procedure. I know this. But they've got something else. They don't just have the media in place to make sure things go their way. They've got the Electoral College. That's their another stopgap, another control measure. But they've got something else. They've got the two-party system. They've got the DNC and the RNC, because it makes it a lot easier for them to control, to make sure they know whoever's in the White House is approved, if they can control who we even have to choose from. And let me tell you something. Donald Trump became the Republican nominee, not because he was that good. A lot of people forget this. A lot of people forget the real reason why Donald Trump became the Republican nominee. A lot of people forget why Donald Trump became the Republican nominee, because Hillary wanted him to be the Republican nominee. People forget that. Hillary wanted him to be the Republican nominee because she was sure she could beat him. She miscalculated. But she wanted him to be the nominee because it was her time. It was her time, and she said, I will wipe the floor with him. That's what she thought. That's what she assumed. And she was wrong. They handed it to him. They didn't think, once they gave him the nomination, they didn't realize it was that far out of their control. They didn't realize that his campaign team, and their social media control, and Kellyanne Conway, her genius, they didn't realize that they had the ability to actually bring it all the way home. And so many people's dissatisfaction with the system. There were so many people that had an anti-establishment yearning, and he capitalized on it. He played into it. He pretended to be that anti-establishment candidate when he is as elite as they come. He is as establishment as they come. But he's rough around the edges. He talks like a regular dude, but he fights for the rich, the powerful, and his own pockets, his own interests. That's who Donald Trump is. So I get what you're saying with the Time Magazine article, but I didn't have to read Time Magazine article to know that. I know they do that every election. They do it before the election. They do it like in New York. As soon as 2020 was over, they started covering crime at an increased rate. Now, regular shootings, regular stabbings, regular events that were happening, they're covering every little thing. Why? Because they're trying to create an impression in people's minds. Oh, crime is out of control. They paved the way for Eric Adams to become the mayor of New York City. I knew that. I watched the coverage and say, okay, they want a cop in the office. They want a cop in the city hall. They want a police state back in New York. That's what they want. Because after 2020, the Democrats didn't like 2020. They didn't like the summer of Floyd. They play on it. They pretend to like it, but they're like, whoa, we can't have these people out of control. We need to tighten them up. We need to lock those cities down. And I know the reason why January 6th happened. Same reason Summer Floyd happened. Summer Floyd was not about George Floyd. January 6th was not about the election. It was about 2020. In 2020, Americans all over the country saw their world collapse. Psychologically, it was an incredibly traumatizing event. They needed an outlet. You have people who are on the right, people who lean to the left, who started engaging in these protests against police brutality, the Summer of Floyd. BLM, Antifa. BLM and Antifa, those were the organizations, but there were a bunch of people that weren't part of either organization that joined in because they had this nervous energy. They felt lost. They felt like, oh, what's happening? And there were people on the right who felt the same way. And what did they do? On January 6th, they showed out. All related to the trauma of seeing society collapse in 2020. So when I say we have a dog in the fight, I'm not talking about Trump. I'm not talking about Biden. Neither of those people were ever fighting for us. Not Hillary, not Obama. If they made it to the Democratic or Republican nomination, they're not fighting for us. The dog we have in the fight is that these people, that this government continues to exist and continues to exert so much control over our lives. Just this week, like they're about to pass more gun control on a national scale. It's insane. Like you watch a bunch of people get murdered in Buffalo, a bunch of black people get murdered in Buffalo. Hey, let's outlaw body armor. Watch children get murdered in Uvalde. Hey, Let's strip guns from regular citizens. We just saw the cops fail miserably to protect the people. And their answer is, only the cops should have guns. What? It's absurd. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I'm just saying, the fight doesn't stop. The fight didn't start in 2020. Like, the fight didn't start in 2020. And the fight and the Donald Trump wasn't on our side. Donald Trump is and has always been part of the establishment, part of the elite, one of the scumbags. It's a big club and we ain't in it. I wasn't at Donald Trump's wedding. Hillary Clinton was. That should tell you something. Thanks for watching the video. Everyone, as always, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And if you disagree, feel free to give me a thumbs down, but tell me what you disagree with. And, you know, hey, maybe I can address it in a future live stream and we can chop stuff up. I'll see you next time. Yeah, that went way longer.